it's rice and beans all day and every day. I mean, it's rice and beans for lunch, for dinner, if you have dinner. But anytime you go to a member's house, they will give you rice, beans, some sort of meat, probably a salad, and soda. That's kind of the standard. I mean, there are variations from that. It's not a hard and fast rule, but you'll always have rice and beans. And then beyond that, it's kind of to the members' creativity. But you'll grow to love it. I mean, it's good food. It might get monotonous after a while, but thankfully the variation in the other things can make up for it. There's a soda that every Brazilian missionary talks about called Guaraná. It's pretty delicious. I mean, it comes from a berry that we don't have here, the Guaraná berry, and it's a great way to get cavities. It's a great way to ruin your teeth just because it's so easy to drink so much of it. But there are, endless variations of Guaraná. I think there's about 7 major brands of Guaraná and, 10 minor ones. Probably the best meals, the actual meals that I had a lot of fried chicken. It's easy, it's cheap, it's good stuff. But the best meals I had were feijoada, which is like a black bean stew with every piece of the pork you can imagine put into it. If you get someone who's from the Northeast, like traditional Northeast, you might find an ear or a hoof or something floating in it. It's normal, don't worry about it, just eat it and ignore it. But it's really delicious. It's really easy to get full on. And you always just keep eating more. There's also something called pirão, which is like, I'm not sure how to describe it. They take like the juice of meat, the meat juice, I guess, is a better way to say it. They take meat juice and they mix it in with a type of tapioca flour. It's called manioc flour. They're made from the same root, but they're slightly different in the way they're produced. And they make it into this paste. And I don't know why, but it's delicious. I mean, it's just this like meat paste. And you stick it on top of your rice and beans and you mix it in with everything and you eat it. It's just so good. That one's really easy to eat as well, just to keep eating and not stop. But the desserts are where you're going to get in trouble if you have to walk a lot that day. There's pudim de leite, which is like, I think they call it flan here. I don't know. It's like a little flan with syrup drizzled on it, and it's wonderful. It's rich. It's creamy. It's eggy. It's everything you'd ever want. They also have mousse, which is like mousse, but they make it out of fruit usually. So you'll have passion fruit mousse. You'll have strawberry mousse. You'll have lemon mousse, lime mousse. The distinction between lemon and lime in Brazil is very thin, if non-existent. It's pretty much the same fruit. Like, if you try and tell someone about a lemon, they'll just be like, oh yeah, it's a lime. You're like, well, it's not a lime, it's kind of a yellow lime. Alright, so it's a lime. Oh well, but they make lots of mousse out of that. Brazilians also love stroganoff, and it's a classic meal to give to the missionaries. And it's just, bits of meat in a nice creamy sauce, and you put it on top of the rice. You can have beans with it, but it's kind of strange. And then they'll put little shoestring potatoes on top of it. It's fantastic. It was always my favorite day whenever there was stroganoff, because it's just so good. And it fills you up so well. It's easy to make too.